Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to stay motivated and keep pushing forward even when it feels like nothing is happening. As entrepreneurs, one of the biggest hurdles and struggles that we face is burnout, overwhelm, and the urge of quitting when things just get tough. I personally know how hard and frustrating it can be when you're feeling like you're doing all the right things but you're still not getting results. And that's one of the things that I want to kind of help you to think through and the ways that I go about working through a lot of these same hurdles that you experience as well. And so if this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Shamecca. Nice to finally meet you. And I help online entrepreneurs with video, branding, marketing, and how to implement simple systems and strategies to grow and scale their business online. So let's go ahead and jump in. So for my first tip, for tip number 1, is to consider your personal situation. Each and every person has a set of circumstances that they personally deal with and battle with on a daily basis. Depending on what those issues are, your results are going to be drastically different than somebody else. If you're dealing with a chronic illness and you're trying to manage that on a daily basis, that's going to make your results go a whole lot slower. Same as if you've got aging parents or you've got young kids in your home. You're in a season of life that could just be a very chaotic season of life, and you're kind of having to try to get through that, but also run a business as well. And so that's a lot going on. So you do have to kind of consider what is going on in the background in your day-to-day life. A lot of times, if we've got a lot of different things going on in the background personally, then it is going to take us a little bit longer to start seeing results. And the other thing is, a lot of times we're comparing ourselves to entrepreneurs that's been doing this now for years, and they've really dialed their niche in, they've dialed their target market in, they've dialed all of their branding in, they've dialed all of their marketing in, they've dialed all the things in, and they also have a team helping them. When we're first getting started in business, a lot of times we're a solo entrepreneur at that point, and we're wearing all of the hats. We're marketing, we're customer service, graphic design, video editor, we do all the things. So you're only going to be able to do so much and move so fast because you're only one person versus they've got 20 different people doing all the different jobs. The other thing with a lot of the successful entrepreneurs that we're seeing and comparing ourselves to is they have spent years of growing their audience and developing and creating multiple streams of income. And that in turn is going to make it look like they're doing a whole lot better and seeing a whole lot better of results than you personally are. But the reason why is because they've put in the work on the front end, and we didn't see those first years that they had to just grind and build every single day to get to where they're at. So that's why it's so important that we can't compare our situation to their situation. It's not comparing apples to apples. It's kind of, you're comparing apples to oranges at that point. And then the next thing you have to know is whenever you're building a business online, it could take you anywhere from 6 to 18 months to get everything dialed in. That means you've got to get your niche dialed in. You've got to get, the type of content that you really want to focus on dialed in. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to really figure that all out. And if you're building it from a brick and mortar type style business, that could take 5 years before your business becomes profitable. And what could really be helpful to you is to sit down and say, okay, what are the most important blocks of my business that I need to focus on to start seeing a profit quickest? And so for me, I know that it's going to be creating content that is resonating with my audience and dialing that in so that way they're able to see, okay, she can help me with this. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows how to do this. And so that's part of what my personal business strategy is providing a bunch of free content that really helps my audience. And then from there, it allows my audience to decide if they want to work with me or not and, invest in programs and things like that I offer. But they're not going to know that until you start showing up and you start letting them know who you are, what you do, what you're all about, what you have to offer. So in the beginning, there is a degree of service that has to happen of showing up. I know one of my huge mentors that I have followed for several years that has helped me in several different aspects of my business. She posted on YouTube posting free videos for about 6 years before she ever profited from those videos. And so lesson to be learned there. You got to show up and have a servant's heart before people are willing to invest in you. So that's a lot of building that know, like, and trust, whether that's in person, brick and mortar, or online. People have to know that they can trust you. And if they don't feel like they can trust you, they're not going to invest in whatever it is that you're offering right out the gate. And so you just have to know whenever you're starting out and building a new business from scratch and from the start, it takes time to get that business up and running and profitable. And you can even start looking for affiliate marketing opportunities to try to help to supplement your income, where you create a video for a company and you're promoting their product if it's something that you use and you love and you like using. But you may even have to have a regular full-time job on top of starting your business out in the beginning to really keep things afloat financially, because it does not happen overnight. That's one of the most frustrating things I see a lot online is so many people talk about, oh, I make 6, 7, 8, 9 figures, and they give you these astronomical figures and it seems like they did it overnight essentially. And you're like expecting those same results, but in reality, reality, they could have had a following from another business that they're coming from, or they could have been building online already and building a YouTube channel up to where they were building their know, like, and trust along the way. And then now it's kind of all coming in. And so I don't ever want somebody to feel like it can just happen overnight. I want you to know that it does take time, energy, and effort. And sometimes that's going to look like having a full-time job to support you even while you're doing that thing that you want to do, which is your own business and having that profitable. But you have to know in your head, I'm doing this for a short period of time for the long-term gain. So once we know in our mind that we're only doing this for a short period of time, it makes it a little bit more tolerable to where I know the end goal here. I just have to do this for a little bit of time to get to the next level. And so for tip 2, you have to have a strong why and a connection to your why to keep you going, especially in the challenging times, because there are definitely going to be challenging times. If you know anything about being an entrepreneur, you know that a lot of times there's a lot more problems than there are solutions, and the solutions are you coming up with them. And so whenever you hit those challenging times, you need to have something that you can draw from that is going to give you the strength and the energy to kind of keep going even when things are hard. The first part of your why is you have to love what it is that you do. If you don't love what it is that you do, you're going to crumble and quit as soon as the first sign of adversity comes, because it's too hard to fake it and try to get through it if you don't absolutely love it. And you won't have the drive and the determination to push and just keep going and keep chipping away at that rock to break through. And so it has to be something that even if you were to never make a dime doing it, you would still do it because you absolutely love doing it. It is what makes you, it's what you live for every day, to wake up to be able to do it. And so once you've got that aspect of it dialed in, then that's the service portion of it. Who you're helping, why you're helping them, why that's so important to you. Once you discover that, then you move to the second portion of the why. And the second part is what's in it for you. Why are you doing it for you? What is the whole purpose of this? So take me, for example. The first part of my why is I love teaching other people how to do things and see them get success from something I've taught them, and to be able to then go on to achieve their goals and dreams from learning something from me that I was able to teach them. That rewards me, and it just like keeps me on fire, to like, okay, let me create something else that could help my people. That's the first part of my why. The second part of my why is to create a future and a career that works around my chronic illness. I have multiple sclerosis, and so that is a chronic illness and disease that I will have to, work around and deal with for the rest of my life. And generally, after I wake up in the mornings and I get my shower, I have to lay back down 30 to 45 minutes after that to take a nap. That helps me to rest and regain energy to get through the rest of my day. And that's going to be really hard for me to explain to a traditional 9-to-5 that, hey, after I come in and get started, I just had my shower before I got here, and so now I need to take a 30 to 45 minute nap. Are you cool with that? They're probably not going to be cool with that. And I get it. I wouldn't be either. And so that's the second portion of my why. My why is rooted in a personal situation that I'm having to deal with and struggle with and overcome. And that's what's fueling me, is knowing that, okay, as I get older, as the disease, changes or progresses or whatever happens with that, I do have a plan, something that, means a lot to me. And so that's going to keep me going now while I've got the energy. I'm able-bodied enough to do it and work towards my goal that I want to make happen. So the same has to be true for you. You have to know why you're doing it, and it has to be a strong enough reason to keep you going, even when things are looking grim and not so good. So tip number 3, know your numbers. By knowing your numbers and knowing what you need to focus on each day to make your end goal happen, it really helps to take the chaos and overwhelm out of the day-to-day. And so you want to break your business goals down into clear, measurable steps. How many sales, conversions, and leads do you need to hit your monthly income target? The first thing you need to focus on is how much money do I need to make each month to pay myself and to cover my expenses. And a lot of times, unfortunately, in the beginning, it's what number do you need to make to break even, to pay the expenses, to keep the lights on and keep your business running, essentially. But you do want to be working towards how much money do I also want to be able to pay myself as well. And those are things that are going to be built up. Once you know that number, then the next number you need to figure out is how many sales do I need to make to hit that number. And then once you know that number, you have to then know how many eyeballs or faces do I need to be in front of to make that many sales each month. The next thing you have to know is what are your industry averages or percentages for sales for your business. What is the average in your industry that most people make on a sale? You have to know what those averages look like to know if you're getting close to those averages and moving in the right direction, or you're nowhere near that and you need to kind of tweak or adjust what you're doing and try something different and to get you closer to those averages or percentages. And once you know those numbers, it's then time to double down on the task that generates that income in your business. And you do have to kind of go into this open-minded with, you know what, some of this is going to be trial and error and me figuring out what's working, what's not, and tweaking and adjusting as you go in flight, and affect how fast or quick you're seeing results. So you just have to know that's all a part of the process. Once you get all of this dialed in and you know exactly what your numbers are, you know exactly what you need to be doing to generate the income to get those numbers, then it's just wash, rinse, and repeat. And you just keep doing it over and over and over again, and that's going to help you to begin to grow and scale your business. And the next tip is to create structure for your day-to-day workflow. It's so easy to kind of get lost in the sauce, and a lot of times as entrepreneurs, the hardest thing for us to do is to create structure within our day-to-day routines. We don't want to feel like we're kind of boxing ourselves in and we've got to do this during this time and and so we want to have that flexibility to be able to do all the things that we want to do in our business throughout our day. But the thing is, we do have to kind of look at, okay, what are the big chunks of things that are going to give me the most bang for my buck? And those are the things that we have to focus on in the beginning. So for example, for me on Mondays, that's my scripting and planning day. That's the day that I know that I'm going to be planning and scripting out all of my videos and what that week's video is going to be all about. If I have time, I then hit my stories and try to do a Facebook post. But the priority is first planning and scripting my video. On Tuesdays, I know that that's going to be a combination of a few different things. It's going to be fleshing out and finishing up the planning, filming, and starting the whole process of creating a thumbnail for that week's video. Wednesday's going to be editing the video, stories, and Facebook post if I'm able to get that in. But the priority there is going to be editing that video. Thursday is going to be the uploading and optimization of that video, as well as getting the video scheduled to release on Friday. And then Friday's going to be all about writing my weekly email to my audience. That way I can nurture that audience as well as mention my video that I have coming out for that week that they can check out. Once I get the email wrote, then I can focus on stories and a Facebook post if I have time. And then Saturday's going to be all about creating a reel to basically sum up and go over the points that I created the long form video for. And so those are the things that I know I have to focus on each and every week to be able to start seeing growth in sales in my business. And so for you in your business, you have to sit down and chunk out your task of what's most important that move your business forward the most. The more you do that, it creates a compound interest effect. And so you're going to then start to see growth happen with your business, both business, sales, leads, all the things. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to watch the video on your screen now, where I show you how to start using ChatGPT prompts to be able to get more done faster.